just no drive, no ambition. You actually kind of feel sorry for them. It's kind of disgusting. You're thinking, how can a man be this way? We have the data, we have the understanding, we've studied these things in depth from a scientific perspective, from an Islamic perspective. We've seen the links between both of them, performance psychology, everything. We understand what it takes to get a man bi'idhnillahi ta'ala to his full potential. I really want brothers to understand that. It's actually so selfish of you not to improve yourself because you're already doing good.
Assalamu alaikum everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Central and Co, but not Co as in Co, but Co as in
COO. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm good. How are you?
Glad. Alhamdulillah, I'm also good.
Alhamdulillah. Final episode of the first season of Central and Co. Are you ready?
I'm super ready, man.
It's a big decision we're about to make, so stay tuned, inshallah. It's the death of Fawaz Central.
It is the death of Fawaz Central.
Khalas, we're done.
Done. Inshallah, not the death of Fawaz. Ya Rabbi.
Yeah.
Not yet. But yeah, it's the death of Fawaz Central through a certain lens.
Okay, let's go back, even before we talk about why we're ending everything. Let's talk about why we started everything.
Perfect. I've always actually wanted to say this. I never got a chance to actually talk about it. I didn't start a personal brand to document my journey or to make money as a source of an extra income, or, you know, because I wanted to be popular or to network with people. In fact, I actually don't like any of those things, right? I find it very difficult to network. Now, it's a constraint I've been working with, alhamdulillah. But I have a very small social battery. I've always liked to be, staying with specific people, but I don't like to meet loads of people, right? I like a private life, which sounds crazy to the people watching, but I've always loved the private life as well. And I never thought I needed to go on social media and sell anything or build a personal brand. Like I said, I was already revenuing 7 figures. I've already made $1 million prior to ever becoming public on social media. Now, I have always used social media in the sense that I did talk about what I was doing a little bit on my Snapchat, which had certain people on it, very private. I had another private Instagram as well. But I was actually referred to as a ghost. In fact, this was actually how my friends used to refer to me. Like my nickname was Ghost, because I was a very, very private person and I was a ghost essentially. You'd see me for a couple of months, and then after a while you're thinking, well, we haven't seen this guy in ages, all right? He's just completely gone. Alhamdulillah, this was obviously us working behind the scenes, alhamdulillah, building our companies. So my point is, I had money before I ever came to social media, right? And I would like to make that clear that the reason I came on, it wasn't even my choice. I got bullied into starting social media, right? And I'd like to actually credit the people, guys like Liban, subhanAllah, from the UK, who used to be like, bro, you need to start a personal brand, bro. Nah, trust me. You blow up on the TikTok thing. This is the time TikTok was going crazy. He goes, bro, like, you know how to talk. You have substance. Like, barely of these guys don't have substance. They have nothing to them. So everyone's nagging me. Start a personal brand, start a personal brand, start a personal brand. And I remember the final straw was when one of the brothers, Jamal, spent some time with us in Egypt. I was like, start it. You need to get started. So I remember recording the first reel. I was like, this is so weird. Like, talking to a camera is so dead. Like, I can put me in a crowd of 1,000, 10,000 people. I'll talk. My heart probably wouldn't even rattle if it's a topic I'm comfortable with, right? But put me in front of a camera, it don't make sense to me, subhanAllah. So I think that was a bit of a difficult period getting started. Seeing some of the comments as well, seeing so much abuse, I was a bit confused as well. But that's when it started. It was about a year ago. It was July last year, I remember, when we kicked off the personal brand. And again, I didn't initially come to sell something. I'd already made mind control prior to ever starting my personal brand, all right? The reason I then went on to push mind control more and more is because of how much benefit it had. Again, mind control isn't a project I started off for money, because we know the price of mind control when it first started, right? And I'm going to reveal it today. When we first dropped mind control, I believe it was about 200 euros, which is ridiculous for what we were offering. I had so many more things at the time, a lot of one-to-ones with myself, etc. It genuinely wasn't created for the money. But alhamdulillah, we took a big cohort on that time. I believe it was about 40 brothers, something like that. One of the biggest cohorts I believe we've ever done. And alhamdulillah, they like changed. A lot of things for them changed, right? They became a lot more successful in the things that they were doing. There was so much more, like, the drive that I'd seen that made me start the mind control program. This is exactly what I wanted. Because you guys have to understand my position. I made it, connotations, I've never made it, but, made it out of my ends very young, right? So alhamdulillah, I'm very young, I'm making loads of money. And naturally what happens when you're making loads of money when you're young? You want your friends with you, right? So I remember trying to put all of my guys, get serious. All you have to do is put in the work, grind for like 6-12 months. Bro, trust me, let's do this together. Look, I've taken this program, let's watch it together. And I'm just seeing a lack of interest across, like, some of them just way too much ego. In the sense that, like, bro, like, I'm learn a course, like, all them courses are a waste of time, waste them. Some of them, right, just no drive, no ambition. You actually kind of feel sorry for them. It's kind of disgusting. You're thinking, how can a man be this way? So others just focused on absolutely wrong things, trying to make it quickly. So this is where I actually understood that, you know what? The problem isn't, and I tried to teach them with business and benefit them business and stuff like that. I'm like, the problem isn't even business. These guys have a more deeper innate problem, which is their mind, which is what led us to building and creating. I'll never forget the day I was in Misr, I was in Egypt. I drew up the whole thing in one night. And guys, let me explain to you the night I drew up, and I can pull up the image, inshallah. Abdul Razak can put it on top of the screen now, inshallah. SubhanAllah, I was actually dealing with insomnia. I used to have really, really bad insomnia, all right? So I'd be staying up for hours, as you know. Sometimes I'm like, I put my head down to sleep, I can't sleep. So I remember I just got up, I was like, bun this, look, I can't sleep anyway. I got the whiteboard out, and I just built the whole mind control program. I built the whole program in one night. Right? And it was just absolutely crazy for me. Once I seen the impact it started to have, I really felt like, you know what? Like, Allah has used me. And wallah, I still really do feel like this. It's like the way it came about, the way it was made, the way it blew up. Allah just used me as a tool to bring this rujula back in men, bring this focus, give them that drive, that ambition, call them back to what? Being purposeful.
SubhanAllah. That, like, the funny thing is about that specific cohort was, now we're getting calls every day. The guys from that cohort from time ago, because they're the longest sample size we had. And of course, that was the lean startup essentially that we've discussed before. It's like that first beginning that we had. We obviously kept adding more and more and more things. But even from what they had then, you've seen guys that were not on anything. Wallahi, I know some of these guys, or I know their friends, and they were telling me how they were like before taking mind control. Some of these guys are the typical teenager, going on holidays, with nothing to their lives, just fitna.
No.
And now, subhanAllah, these guys are doing big things. Walillahi alhamd. So it was something which was very powerful in terms of mission. But you're telling the people that you're done.
Yeah. Here's the thing, right? It's super tough for me. I just want people to actually genuinely understand. It's super tough for me to leave the mind control program. Like, wallahi al-azim, when I say this is something that has bothered me, and even since making the decision, right? I'm not a man who struggles with indecision, by the way, alhamdulillah. But even since making the decision, every day I wake up, I ask myself, like, are you making the wrong move? And people might not understand how deep, like, this is. Like, bro, just shut up. Like, khalas, go on to your next offer. But the guys who took the mind control program know exactly what I'm talking about, right? You know, I had a brother say something that's absolutely crazy to me. He goes, bro, the day the mind control program was ending, the final one, right? He goes, akhi, wallahi, I wasn't even this emotional, right? On my own graduation. People aren't even this emotional on their weddings, when they have, like, that's how deep this program was. We took people on a journey to genuinely changing themselves. We gave them the step-by-step blueprint, right? And we seen brothers that, by the looks of things, wallahu alam, it looked like they were going nowhere in life, right? And they were just chasing the wrong things. They were locked in with the shahwat. You'd almost look at this guy and be like, astaghfirullah, this guy's going to be nothing. And those were the guys, some of them that came into the program, and wallahi, now they are more than just something. To just let go of that, do you know what I'm saying? To like, just like, yeah, I'm done with that. That wasn't, personally, That wasn't something that's easy. Like, how am I supposed to let go of something? Every day I get messages, wallahi, from old students from a year ago, right up until students that just finished the most recent cohort. You have changed my life. You have changed my life. You have benefited me greatly. Like, everything now, my mom, my wife sees the results. My children I'm raising my children. But like, how do you just throw something like that out the window? Like, you claim to care about the ummah. You built something that benefits them, and now you just want to stop. So there's been a lot of them thoughts in my head, all right? It's hard, and no one will ever understand. Like I said, if you're actually watching this and you didn't take the program, you can't understand the emotions we're going through right now. The students do. And I can tell you some of them guys, one of the guys, I actually want to read out the message he left me. Yeah, I just want to read it out so people perhaps understand what we're dealing with here. So he texted me, he goes, Fawaz, Habibi, the last MCP call hit different. I had to keep turning off my video because I couldn't stop crying hysterically, wallahi. I don't know if it's tears of guilt or joy. I still need to reflect on it more. But currently, 2 main reasons stand out. Hearing about our sister's reasons for joining MCP, it made me realize how truly important what we're doing for the ummah is. Hearing you and Brother Bashir speak to each other, I couldn't understand fully because he was speaking in Arabic, but I could feel the genuine love, brotherhood and care. This can't be found outside of Islam. Overall, you filled the void in my heart that I've been yearning for so long. I feel at peace and I thank Allah our paths cross each other, and I will make dua that he continues to increase you in which is good. I'm riding with you until the end, my beloved, so long as you'll have me. All right? I want people to understand there's probably a million more. I'm genuinely not sitting here and exaggerating. If I could say, we could spend the whole rest of the podcast just talking about this person changing. Like, this wasn't those other fake programs online that you've seen. Let me just clarify. You've changed my life and everything is like, everyone who ever took this program, who liked me or not, or who later had an issue somewhere with me or not, one thing that they've never been able to deny,
open their mouth and say anything,
or be able to argue against, those who hate me, love me, is that the mind control program wasn't a monumental thing in their lives. We had guys that the program was so deep to that they took it twice. And they get access to lifetime recordings. He said, no, I want to be part of the what? The cohort again. Right? And they paid again when it's more expensive, right? They paid again. It's just baffling. So, alhamdulillah, from Allah's fadl, this is something that changed and benefited people. So like I mentioned, to let that go, it wasn't an easy decision, man. It wasn't an easy decision.
Just before we top off that extra set of testimonials, because there's testimonials full of them. But the other day I got on call with someone and I honestly wasn't expecting it. And the brother goes, the complete control, because I was going through the whole, he was telling me I was going through the whole mind control program. If I was talking about Birrul Walidain, and there's actually there's a distinction between how people take in Birrul Walidain, and he's like, yeah, but you don't understand my situation. But in the final call that we had, the final call of the final cohort, you were explaining that the only way to actually get success is to please your parents. And he was explaining that he was pissed off at his parents for a certain thing, and he hasn't spoken to them in months. He was telling me I'm suffering. By the way, this is the crazy thing. He never made a correlation between the two. He's like, my life is getting difficult, although I've learned these new principles and I'm getting much better. And he goes, I called up my mom after months, hasn't spoken to her. I just want to ask for forgiveness. I just want to ask for forgiveness, Mom. It doesn't matter what you did, what I did. Let's put this between us. After almost a year, he was like, let's go out for dinner. Wallahi, you don't know what you just did to that person's life. And as a result of that, his wife as well, his wife was even worse. Years have gone by. Imagine, years have gone by. She hasn't spoken to her parents. And it was on that day, on the complete control, she called up her parents. After years. And all of them said that it feels like a mountain has been lifted, literally off of my whole body. I have clarity.
See, Lil Asaf, bro, this is something that the programs don't address. The courses we buy, they just don't address these things. Like mind control, sometimes I hated the name. I'm not going to lie to you. because it made people think, we're just here to talk about your mind and, mental reframing and, having a positive mindset and destroying self-limiting beliefs. You know why I used to struggle to market the program? How do you market something so vast? Like, what angle do I take it from? How do I tackle it? How do you market something? And, the consultants, they used to come in and say what to me? No, you have to have a one line. I said, I can't give a one line to something like this. And every time we have to force one line upon it, it doesn't do it justice, right? And this is the same thing we've experienced. Like, everyone who comes into the program, they say, I was skeptical. I didn't even understand in the beginning. But now, it's like, I wouldn't have regretted anything more in my life than this. This is what changed people, right? And this is guys who are maybe on six figures already. We had many of them, clients, right? We had many people who had started businesses, scaled their businesses because of it. As again, it was addressing the holistic areas of their life, right? We had many people, again, who weren't doing anything that got to doing something, got to building things, right? All from what? All from this program. So when I say that this is one of the most important things I've ever built in my life, really and truly I believe that, right? And I thank Allah, and I feel honored. Bisaraha, I feel honored. And none of these gurus, course creators will never understand what I feel, because this wasn't an offer or just a program to me. Mind control, I can genuinely say, is like a part of me. It shaped a lot of things for me, right? It wasn't just a program. It wasn't just a source of income or teaching something we believe in or something we've used. This was something that would, as soon as like a brother said to me, subhanAllah, it goes, after Quran and Sunnah, wallahi, this is the best thing in my life I've ever seen. This is the best thing. After Quran and Sunnah, this is the best thing. To get heavy statements like that. And look, if you guys think I'm waffling, just go on the Trustpilot. To get statements like that, bro, I'm not gonna lie, akhi, it pierced my heart. SubhanAllah, it pierced my heart. And again, I'm saying it, I feel favored by Allah that I was used to bring something like this to life, right? And honestly, I give all shukr, all thanks, all praise, all credit to Allah, because like I mentioned, I believe I was a mere tool. And hearing some of the statements, mothers coming in, subhanAllah, to the program and making their children sit there, their sons sit there and watch, forcing them to turn their cameras on and forcing them to interact, and saying how they were finding it tough in the beginning, and then now they're rushing towards the courts. You had fathers come in there, and the fathers saw the program so important that they used to make that their sons sit beside them and watch the content. Fathers, I'm talking grown, 36, 40-year-old men, bringing their sons and saying, listen, sit beside me as we're watching this cohort and take notes. Because that's how deep, this isn't another program. This wasn't another offer, right? Why was our marketing so funny, right? Because we just spent so much time just focusing on the product. And walillah alhamd, it marketed itself when the time came. Because we were product focused. Alhamdulillah, this is something we've always had, a mentality we've always had in everything we do. We lead with the product, right? And like I said, I don't know what to say. I think no one will ever understand. If we sit here and talk about it for an hour, if you didn't take it, you won't know. That's just the truth of the matter.
Okay, but for the people that did take it, we're making a shift now. We're stop working with new entrepreneurs. You're ditching all the guys, and even the six-figure guys we're contemplating. It's like we're working with the 7- and 8-figure guys now. What do you have to say? Like, you owe them something. Why?
Cool. Like I said, I started off as a business mentor. Entrepreneurship is something that's deeper than me. It's in my blood. And I put that away for a little while. I believe when it came to the mind control program, I had to be selfless. I remember constantly on the calls with the team, I'm saying, guys, I want to go back and teach business again. This is what I know, this is what I love, this is what got me to where I am, But it's like, again, no, the people need the mind control program. No, the people need the mind control program. No, the people need. So I had to put away what I wanted versus what was needed. And subhanAllah, I remember it made no sense, right? Because we have I think 7 recordings of the full program. 7 recordings of like 7, as in 7 times the program was recorded. And there's like around 10, 15, 10, 12 episodes per program. They're all about an hour and a half each. You can imagine how much content there is, right? And every time it's just we're shooting it live again, because we understand the way the program was, we needed it live to interact and to get into the hearts of people so they understand.
You're taking people from the beginning. You're taking them from the ground. So it has
so
to be with them.
has to be live.
Turn on your camera. I'm looking at you. I'm watching you. Checking attendance.
We're reading the things about them. We're making the program relatable to them so they understand. And everyone in the program, so one thing they used to mention is like, bro, I felt like you were talking directly to me, right? Without surprise, of course, because that's how we structured and built the program, right? Alhamdulillah. So I've taught the mind control program live 7 different times. I think over what ended up being 200 people plus, all right, around that, just again and again and again and again. And, you know, I made the decision that, look, everyone had the opportunity, right, to get to mind control. We never sensed no one away because, like, there was not too much space. And in fact, because of the last finale got booked out and people were still begging more, we actually opened 2 finales. So we had finale 1 and finale 2, all right? Because, again, we control the size in each cohort because we like to make sure students can actually benefit, etc. So we actually opened up, which wasn't our plan in the beginning, we opened up a whole nother finale because there was more demand for it. So after this, bro, I feel like I've done what I could. I feel everyone had the opportunity. Perhaps one could make the argument, I didn't know you back then. So for anyone who wasn't able to, you can avail over there. But that's the last thing I'm doing, right? And now I need to focus on entrepreneurs, and let me explain why. I believe entrepreneurs and du'at are 2 people who are very, very important. Du'at, they're called to Islam. What's more important?
What's a du'at?
A person who gives da'wah, who calls to Islam, right?
Okay.
These are so important. These people are so important, right? They are the ones who call to Islam. Entrepreneurs serve the ummah. They serve the Muslims. They benefit the Muslims. They help them grow. They help them what? They give them services, products.
Powerhouses.
Right? Precisely. So I now need to focus on the highest leverage thing. If I'm able to, and again, if we're able to change the lives of all these guys, and alhamdulillah, we changed the lives of 6-figure entrepreneurs as well. Okay, so why can't we continue to change the lives of 6, 7, and 8-figure entrepreneurs? Because if you look at it in terms of leverage, if we benefit them, they're all able to benefit more people, right? They're all able to benefit more people. So it's actually a far leverage. Perhaps myself, only I can reach per cohort, roughly maximum 1,500 at a time, right? To keep the cohort safe, right? But all of them individually, if they're operating at peak performance, imagine what they can do in terms of benefiting the people, in terms of allowing them to grow, allowing them to change, allowing them to improve their lives, etc. Right? So that's why we ended up creating, alhamdulillah, the Peak Performance Mastery. Because I noticed that who takes care of the people, who takes care of everyone. All right? Who takes care of the people, who take care of everyone. And entrepreneurs, although they all think they're high performance and they don't need care, yeah, that's just an ego problem, but they do. All right?
Something, I'm going to bear her name, Sister Zainab. I was on call with her the other day, and she was reviewing the micro program, and she was just thinking, and she goes, yeah, tell Fawaz I'm going to make dua for him in my tahajjud. And I goes, yeah, don't forget me as well. She goes, I won't forget you, but Fawaz is a priority here. And she goes, because if Fawaz is upright and he's stuck on the vision, then I know everyone under him is affected also. And that was something different, because I know this podcast isn't necessarily about you, but you as a leader, everyone looks at every action that you do, every belief, every thought, every joke you say, everything. It's like, wow. The decision, like even I remember the last day we were with Stan Imran, went out for a sa'i, and he goes, and you go, yeah, I'm not making that decision. Like someone, the waitress was there, she was like, what acai do you want? She's like, you make that decision for me. Why? Cognitive low, blah, blah, blah. And Saddam Imran picked that up. I picked that up. I was like, oh, wow, okay. You don't make decisions on your own because what? It's going to affect other decisions in the future, which will affect people. So what we're looking at here is this is more for the people back again. And this is why we only work with people with businesses, people that actually have genuine effect. Because once you see a person changes, like Mathalan, the brother that we mentioned, he's a man, he's got a family, he's got a business, he's got a wife, he's got parents. Like, look how that's just constantly expanding.
And you know, that's the craziest thing about mind control. You know what made me so happy? We never just changed the lives of our clients. La wallah. Alhamdulillah, from Allah's fadl. What did they say? I have a better relationship with my parents. My parents are even picking up things from me. There was a brother who came to me, goes, my mum watches.
Oh,
it goes, my mum watches all of the mind control episode, and she told me, listen to this guy, he knows what he's talking about. Right? So look, what we built, alhamdulillah, like, I don't mean this from like a place of like, you know, to that dip, you know, basically lessen what anyone's building in the Muslim community or what they've done with the money programs. This wasn't about just money. This was changing a man's character, a man's life. His wife benefits from that. Okay, his children are going to benefit from it. Okay, his family, everything around him. And that's the thing, when you are somebody of khair, people start to what? Take the khair from you as well. They're learning from you. Now, what we're trying to do that is on a wider scale.
Exactly.
Precisely, right? So now we're working with entrepreneurs who, again, work with all of those people anyway. And the more they're able to perform at their peaks, because when you look at it, right, subhanAllah, this is a statement of EP09, right, rahimahullah. What does he mention? He says, don't say the leader is bad, right, but the people are good. Because where does the leader come from? The leader comes from the people, right? So if you fix the people, you fix the leader, right? So now we've worked with the people, alhamdulillah, and those will be 100% future leaders. But now it's important that we work on the leaders so they can actually benefit their people. The guys we're dealing with, they lead companies. They're trying to build big things. And every time we make sure of that this guy isn't just, it's like, I just want to make it clear. The criteria isn't just, I have a 6-figure, 7-figure company. It's like, they're building something, or they have a vision that they're using this thing to build. They care about something deeper. And if we can change him, get him to peak performance, make him a better leader, which is a key aspect of our program as well, leadership, right? Then ultimately, everyone he affects, that's so much more high leverage. We're working with people who work with thousands of people or hundreds of people. Individually, we can only work with 100 here, 150 there. We're working with the top, who again will go and spread their seeds to what? The people at the bottom, the people in the middle, everything. Does that make sense? So this is why, and entrepreneurs need to be taken care of. I mean, they're putting eggs in everyone else's baskets. So who's going to put all the eggs back? Who's going to refill their bucket? And that's why we understand the laws of performance. We have the data of over 300 plus Muslim entrepreneurs, right? We have the data. We have the understanding. We've studied, right? We've studied these things in depth from a scientific perspective, right? From an Islamic perspective. We've seen the links between both of them. Performance, psychology, everything. We understand what it takes to get a man, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, to his full potential. Of course, we have to work with the leaders now. Right? Entrepreneurs affect and benefit people. And again, I'm saying this because even Ustad Imran, he goes, look, what you're building is so good, you need to open up to du'at as well. You need to work with the people who give da'wah. Why? Because if you can help them actually get it popping, get it cracking, imagine how many people benefit. So this is why we've shifted what we're doing now. Because I understand that if we can get the people to where they need to be, these guys, the amount of people that are going to be able to benefit is nuts. It's out of our control. And this is why PPM was built.
Peak Performance Mastery.
Result.
I feel a bit of a relief, okay, because the explanation you give is genuinely good. And look, one thing I want people to understand, because especially even if you're going to talk politics, people always look at the leaders and they're thinking, what's this guy doing? Like there's always something you're going to chat about. But it's only when you're at that top position or you work with the top position, you see that certain decisions don't need to make sense to you. Pray for them. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant them ihsan and to grant them ikhlas, sincerity, and to be constantly stuck on that vision for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal. That's what's important. The decisions he makes is not your business. And I request to every single person who's not, let's say, a 6-7 figure business owner or an 8-figure business owner, and you're thinking that this decision is a bit selfish, forgive us.
You just, respectfully, you just don't understand right now.
And you don't need to understand.
Yeah, it doesn't have to make sense to you right now, right? Because I'm not gonna lie to you, I've been getting a lot of smack, right? You care about the anything, the people, and now you just moved and bopped over to the 6-7. You know why this was so emotional for me, right? Remember that dinner we had with Sheikh Abdurrahman Hassan?
No.
And we were explaining the whole program to him and everything. He goes, what you're doing is beautiful. You're genuinely helping people change like what's inside them from an Islamic paradigm. This is necessary. That hit me deep. Ustad Gabriel Romani reviewed the whole program. Asked him, what do you think? Everything, highlight to me your opinions, your thoughts. He ends up recording the testimonial and says, like, what does he say in the testimonial, the key part? Even I benefited from this. I took benefits. That's a psychologist, right? And then
this is his niche.
Yeah.
Just for context, he is the leading expert in psychology,
100%
Muslim psychology.
Muslim space, yes. And then you have Ustad Hudayfa, someone I look up to, like greatly. He's benefited me greatly. I've sat down at his feet. And what I mean by that is I've studied underneath him, right? Attended his classes. He reviewed the program after he put it off for a long time. Because he kept hearing about it. He said, yeah, I'll get to it. He went through the whole program. And I'll never forget the conversation he had with me where I was like, bro, wallahi, this has benefited me greatly. When you hear people you look up to and you respect, right? And you place on a certain pedestal, of course, like we should do, the people of knowledge. Heard him saying those things, and then he mentioned to me, he goes like, when we were in Umrah, we took the brothers to Umrah. The first session we had, I quoted everything. The whole first day I quoted everything from Mind Control.
I want you to just take a pause there. I want everyone to deep what we just said there. Because this is what we're trying to do here. Like, I want you to, is a reality.
That's the high leverage, right?
This is a teacher who every single person is going to take on these principles. 6 months later, you're going to see, I did this, I've started this durus, I've memorized. Like, we have some students, alhamdulillah, they're almost finishing a Shatibiyyah.
Alhamdulillah.
And anyone that knows a Shatibiyyah.
Yes, and by the way, we had student of knowledges come in. I don't want to mistake that. It was just entrepreneurs. On the Islamic side, we have student of knowledges that came in, and student of knowledges that they came in. And they said, this benefited me greatly. My memorization is up, my clarity is up, everything. Right? My point is, it was nuts.
And this is what you have to understand. Ustad Hudayfa is one
man.
How many Umrah trips is he going to do?
And how many people can he reach that I can't? This is leverage, right? So it's not that I don't care about doing it anymore, or I don't care about the people. I believe for anyone who needs the information, we've done. I don't want to say we've done justice to it, but we've done the best we can. We ask Allah to allow it to be enough and sufficient. And alhamdulillah, it's proved through the people that implement the program. And by the way, like, I just want you guys to know, Mind Control is one of those courses that only 10% of people watch. Yeah. The view rate in terms of like people who not only finish the course on the live sessions, but actually go back and watch the recordings, it's nuts. The reason we haven't even been able to shut down the Kajabi right now, because we've all moved to another platforms, is because all of the previous 6 cohorts or so we've done, they always still log back in. There was one day there was an error, and the amount of messages I received, Fawaz, why did you lock the old Mind Control program? That's a cohort from like 7 months ago. I'm thinking, what's going on, right? That's alhamdulillah, like no one will ever understand, right? Unless they were inside. And that's when, subhanAllah, Shaykh Hudayfa goes, for so long I was putting off, Mind Control, I was like, hey, everyone's telling me about it, but it's only when I went through that I actually understood fully what this is. Alhamdulillah, he was able to benefit more people, and he presented it, I'm sure, in a way that is even better than me, of course. Right, because yes, he's more eloquent than me, Allah barik, and he has a lot more knowledge than me, right, Islamically. So my point is, and what I'm trying to establish is, that is high leverage. One man, one sheikh, my sheikh, took it, and he benefited more people than I can. The more we work with the top and the leaders, we're able to actually change them. I have a big problem with how everything is run right now in the world. I've had a problem with it since about the age of like 14, 15. alhamdulillah, Allah gave me that sort of wokeness, if you will, for, we'll throw that word on it. Okay? Allah gave me the wokeness to realize that a lot of things were being done in the wrong light. And I keep saying Allah guided me to this because, again, I don't feel like I'm special or I'm super smart or it's my own accord. Of course not. But when I discovered these problems with people, the mind control, all these things, I was seeing these issues in the community from a young age, how like we don't focus on things and we focus on that. We're always playing, like I was seeing a lot of the problems of us human beings. And I was an avid study of psychology, right? A lot of the books you see on my shelf are again to do with the mind, performance, why people can't achieve their full potential, etc. It's something I've been studying for a very long time in my life. Very, very long time. And, I would almost argue it was always more interesting to me. I always enjoyed teaching business more and acting on business more. But in terms of studying, everyone knew me. I always loved studying psychology, the mind, performance a lot more. This is something I've been studying for a long time. But I always noticed there was issues, things aren't compiled here, they're always in loosey. And even when you look at the entrepreneurship books, they always talk about the psychology part. They always talk about the mind, they always talk about the performance, and if you can't do this, and technicals isn't enough, and this, that. And they always talk about beliefs and self-limiting belief. They always talk about these things. But it's just a chapter, right? Or 2 chapters. They mention it throughout the book. But entrepreneurs, we just see it it's something minor. They all slap into their books. No. Have you not thought to yourself, if they mention it in all these books again and again, how important it is? So that's why I built this, to take things from a full holistic perspective. And what separates the Peak Performance Program, Peak Performance Mastery, because again, I want to be super honest here. Everything we built, we don't build just to build. We build because it's not on the market. Alhamdulillah. It's the honest reason, right? We build it because it's not on the market. We have it and we know people need it. Same thing with the mind control. There was nothing. I actually challenged my clients one time, right? Now maybe there is, because that's naturally how things happen.
I still don't think so.
Yeah, well, not the same as the program, but I had another brother actually call his whole program mind control.
It's not. I've seen it. It's not like it.
It's nothing like it.
It's nothing like it.
But hear what I'm saying. We built things that weren't in the market. That's why we built them, because we've seen the need and we've seen how everyone is ignoring this thing that's changing. We test it with data. We put it on our clients, we see the effects. Well, first we implement it ourselves, of course. We test it on the clients. We, again, connecting the Islamic paradigm. People don't know, majority of my day is spent studying these books and studying, of course, Islamic books, and then taking it with my sheikh, who I see very, very often now, especially, and I'm comparing and seeing the links, and he's explaining, breaking down everything, right? So the thing that separates the Peak Performance Mastery from every other performance, everything, this is actually not just built on science, right? Although science, there is aspects of it that, of course, is true and aligns completely with the deen, right? Yeah. But it's built on 3 main things.
Okay.
Is what separates it. Number 1, it's holistic. We don't look at things from one angle, right? We don't separate this area of your life. It's a holistic process, like we've mentioned time and time again. This is a collection of different subsystems in your life that cater for the whole system. And until we focus on that subsystems and focus on how they interact and connect with each other, then we're not going to be able to get the system optimized.
Can you give an
example? That sounds bougie. Okay, bike. I always give the same example. It's nice and simple for people to understand. A bicycle. If I bring the parts of a bicycle together, that doesn't give me a functioning bike. It's how I connect those pieces with the other piece. So it's a holistic approach. I'm not just thinking, reductionist is like the parts is equal to the whole. No. The sum of the parts is greater than the whole. When you bring everything together and connect them accordingly, it's actually greater than what? The whole is greater than the sum of the parts, is what I'm trying to say, right? So this is super important, and that's how we look at it. Another thing is it's data backed. We tested it out, we know the numbers. It's data backed. We see the improvements. Like, we're not even making this program solely for, like, our biggest mission statement isn't we're going to increase your revenue, but it increases your revenue, right? It increases your revenue. You make more money, right? Alhamdulillah.
While feeling better.
Again, perfect. So, again, like I mentioned, that's another thing. It's backed by data. We've worked with many Muslim entrepreneurs, worked at the top. We've looked at 7, 8, multiple conversations with top people. And again, we see the same recurring effect. Performance issues are the things that are stopping them from actually scaling to the next level. And the final aspect is, this is based on the deen, right? All of the principles, again, align with Quran and Sunnah. And you'll see how heavy some of the aspects of some hadiths that we had, right? Or some statements of the Salaf that we had that we never dug deep into, show how important this whole performance thing is. And how important it is for you to optimize and do things with ihsan, as the Prophet ﷺ mentioned. But how do we achieve ihsan in things? Right?
What's ihsan?
Ihsan is excellence, right? And the biggest thing is self-mastery. Our goal is to help you master yourself. Because the Prophet ﷺ says, لَيْسَ الشَّدِيد مَنْ غَلَبَ النَّاسِ وَلَكِنَ الشَّدِيد مَنْ غَلَبَ نَفْسَهُ. Business is easy when you've mastered yourself. It's just taking technical laws. But when it's just like the machine will always fall victim, or will always fall to the limit of what? The operator. Tamam. The machine will always fall limit. Like if I'm dead, no matter how good the tools you give me are, I can't operate it in the way I'm supposed to. So if we focus on the operator, every area of your life becomes better. Not focus on your business. Khali balak, who controls your business? You control your business, huh? You're the one who operates your business. So it's more important for us to teach you how to be the best operator, right? How to operate, function well as an entrepreneur, rather than how to what? Just learning new business laws.
Even method, practical example, right? Of how high leverage this thing is. We were speaking with a business owner the other day. He's already doing okay, and he's doing good. But it's like, you've got so much more potential.
Oh yeah.
I'm talking, he's a millionaire, by the way, but he's still got so much more potential what we can do. Now he's analyzing, I'm asking, what's your biggest constraint? Yeah.
You can see the lethargicness when you speak to them. It's like, when it comes to vision, by the way, this is what they don't know. When it comes to vision, they'll talk all day with that vision, excited, ask them, okay, what's the structure? You know what, trying to, and they start yawning, tiredness, fatigue, and obviously this thing, it's like you just see, half the time you're speaking to these guys.
I know what to do. Behind the scenes, you're understanding this guy's suffering some things from his marriage. He hasn't given his wife his time. He's got children. He's thinking, okay, between my business, should I focus on the product? Should I focus on marketing? Should I focus on hiring another person? Should I focus on... It's like they're all over the place. Yes. And when you actually come down to it, the technical side of things is simple.
They have the knowledge. They've spent thousands on the technical knowledge. They can't make the decision. Right? But again, all because they bettered their operations doesn't mean the operations are going to be better. They've improved the knowledge, but someone still has to operate that knowledge. And the problem is the operator, the system operator. As long as the operator is broken, it doesn't matter how much you tweak and perfect the machine itself. Your business falls prey to the operator. If you can't operate efficiently, you can't lead effectively. If you can't lead effectively, you can't build effectively. And the people under you can't work effectively either. So it all comes back to what? The system operator.
Sorry. This is the thing we talked about. You end up focusing on so many things. You end up getting really nothing done.
Yeah, man. I think, look, the biggest thing, entrepreneurs just have an ego issue. I've made loads of money, so I don't need to focus on myself. I've already started working on myself in the beginning. I don't need mine. Okay.
You always have a phrase they say, I know what to do.
Yeah. I know what to do in it. No, you okay. We'll have to address this in another podcast.
Yeah. And that's why, as I said, Yani, because look who suffers as a result of that, though.
The people. And that's why we need to fix the entrepreneurs, man. Because here's a key thing I want to say. I really want brothers to understand that it's actually so selfish of you not to improve yourself because you're already doing good. Because you're missing out on a bulk of people that you can genuinely benefit just because you think you're doing so, like you think I'm doing good. And that's why I was saying to the brother, he goes like, I was sitting with a brother and he's very, Allahumma barak, he's very successful.
Allahumma barak.
Right? And he's sitting there and he's looking at me, he goes like, bro, if anyone was sitting in my position, they'd be driving this forward, but me, alhamdulillah, I'm just satisfied with what I have and da-da-da-da-da. Because, yeah, but your product benefits people. People actually need your product, right? So don't think, oh yeah, I'm doing good. No, we need that product to hit more people. Because the more people that product hits, the more people benefit. Stop talking about you and you're chilling. You didn't start, the whole reason you're telling me you built this product in the first place is why? To benefit the people. And that's why you're so product focused. So you can't lack and relax if anyone else was sitting in my position. No, we can't look at things from that perspective. We have to make sure your product blows, because the more people benefit from your product then. Does that make sense? So like I mentioned, people have this like, that's the problem. Sometimes the leaders are like, I'm doing well and I'm benefiting people here and there. No. If you max out your potential, you are able to max out everyone else around you.
And this is an aspect of performance. When you're analyzing things in a revenue perspective, it's like, yeah, okay, revenue. I have money that can be used in anything I need or want. Walakin, we're looking at things much deeper than that.
Than money.
Performance is not just about
It's
revenue.
not. Wallahi, it's not about. And that's what I'm trying to, get people to understand now. We were just taught so much to focus on. Look, a lot of us listen to the kuffar. We're just trying to add an extra zero to our business, and that's why a lot of us lack performance in the end. And we become a lot because it's just about, I just need to make more money for the company. There's no real. They do have vision. They do have intrinsic vibes, but intrinsic values, but intrinsic motivation. But they haven't sought the things a bit deeper. They haven't organized their thoughts and stuff like that. But like I mentioned, this is another podcast. I want to be honest. I want to go back to the guys that maybe a bit upset with this decision. We have done everything. I believe, and the reason we're ending this season here, because I believe holistically that the first couple of episodes we've done are enough, right? And the mind control program and the whole new thing we released for you guys, that's enough. For now, I'm done in that regard.
See you at the top.
Inshallah, see you at the top. And I believe anyone who doesn't make it there with all the resources we've put, and by the way, we've designed the resources in a way where you don't need to buy these stupid little courses anymore. Now, I'm not saying don't go and seek technical knowledge. I'm saying these little stupid little itty-bitty ones. We've put everything necessary there for you. All you need to do is go and link that with a specific technical skill, and you're done. We gave the whole roadmap. In fact, in one of the modules, we literally called it the secrets of the game. And I dropped every single thing, every secret I know about the game inside the module. Everything, I didn't hold back. Walillahi alhamd. So we've done what needs to be done. It's on you to do what you need to do. A mentor of mine said, don't worry about them guys. They just need to learn to wipe the spit off their mouths. I've said, that's so bloody deep, but it's true sometimes. Once you've been given the roadmap and we help you with the actual you getting it done side, the mental side, after that, you just need to get to work. And everybody who has got to work, we got guys from zero in 6 months, I believe. 6 months. They were making 10K per month. All right? Walillahi alhamd. 6 months. Had guys that started with nothing. They had the worst entrepreneurial mindset. Now they're making sales online. All right? And I'm not saying the number. By the way, understand that there's a lag effect between you changing things and improving your life and seeing results. There's a lag effect, and that's what I refer to as the value of disappointment. We talk about it a little bit more in the program, blah, 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 blah. But precisely, we've given you the blueprint. Anything else you need, we've built a support team dedicated
and that's
to
a little sub-objective you can start working towards, because we've gotten students that some of them haven't even finished the program, is the funny thing. When they actually revenued 6 figures from nowhere near even half of 6 figures, they've made it. They've become the PPM students. So that's why,
we'll
build yourself. We'll see you at the top. If you're meant to be at the top.
Yeah, we'll see you at the top. I always say time is the biggest exposer. If you put in the work, you're begging a lot. And I give the whole blueprint, by the way. The Islamic cheat codes as well to get to success, which I'm not going to lie to you, I believe is the reason for our success. Right? Yeah, we study technicals, we put light connected. I can say 100 bags, but it's in technical knowledge, etc. But we leveraged what? The deen. What do I mean by that? Making dua at the right times, being specific in the way you make du'as, etc. That is what the kuffar call luck, we call barakah, we call Allah. Tamam. We left all that in the program. It's holistic as well. Just for you guys. I ain't got nothing else to say, bro. I'll be honest with you. Is there any questions you have for me?
This is the death of Fawaz Central.
The death of Fawaz Central. R.I.P. to the man. And before I end this podcast, wallahi, this isn't planned, but I just want to say thank you.
Me?
Yeah, I want to say thank you to you. It's called Fawaz Central, but really I know it's Muhammad and Fawaz Central. Because
Moving on.
yeah, we had a vision, but somebody got to work and operated. And someone actually, alhamdulillah, allowed my crazy ideas to somehow work. You know, someone didn't call me crazy and said, okay, I remember the look he does all the time. Yeah, we can make that work. Then he pulls out his laptop and his pen and notepad, everything, and he makes it work. So after Allah and my mentors, I want to thank you. I want to thank the team as well. But, you know, Allah mentions the Prophet, right? And he mentions the Prophet in some verses, right? Allah mentions the angel, but he also mentions what? Jibreel separately. What they say, this is for what? Emphasis, to show that this person is above. And that's why I'm mentioning Muhammad, and I don't mean to praise him to his face or throw, as the Prophet says, it's like you throw dirt in his face, but I believe credit where credit is due. I wouldn't have been able to do this after Allah's fadl, my parents, my mentors, if not for this guy in front of me. So I ask Allah to bless him, and as you guys make dua for me, make dua for him as well, because yeah, man, the Prophet ﷺ also had a vision. The Sahabas worked in bringing it to life, you know. So it's the team. There's no individual. So thank you, Habibi. Thank you. I appreciate you. I ask Allah to grant you afiyah, to protect you, to keep you with me forever, inshallah. And to my team, who I will not mention by name, because I know some of them are shy. But there's the crucial members. There's the headaches, the burgers on the team. I'm gonna get in trouble for that. But there's people who made this happen and who operate behind the scenes that you guys don't see, that were able to make what we built so successful. Just to name a few people that came into the company and passed as well. I want to thank Shamsuddin, Al-Fa'i, huge benefit. I want to thank Amman, Zaid, loads of brothers, man. There's a million people in my mind. I want to thank them. Until the end, you know, they kept it clean. And we're still brothers to today, alhamdulillah. And I ask Allah to bless them in everything they do and grant them afiyah. This project wouldn't have been able to go where it went without all of those names I mentioned. I'm sure there's more. Bilal, Jamal from the beginning got me to 10K. They love mentioning it. And yeah, I want to thank all of those brothers.
Ustad
Imran, of course.
You too, Sheikh.
All my mentors, all of them. They did a madness for me, alhamdulillah. The shuyukh who helped me review the course. I don't know if my sheikh wants his name baited. Technically, I like to kind of hide my sheikh. You know, he's not bait, so I don't like to make him bait for the people, you know what I'm saying? He gets like 15 views on YouTube for But yeah, I think that's all the people I need to thank. You know. No, of course not. I'm about to get to like I said, there's the extra mention. And not only my parents, but also your parents as well. So thank my mother, my father, and also my mother and father, your mother and father, who are also my mother and father, who allowed this project to be. Walillah alhamd. So towards the end, I'd just like to give a thanks and credit to all of those people who allowed it to happen. My team now, who are new, but getting to work as well. We ask Allah to bless them. Perhaps they'll get a mention at the PPM. But yeah, like I said, big thank you to my double S, to my I'm cheeky. To my double S. Who else do I need to thank? I think I've mentioned everybody. Yazin, man. My Birmingham brother.
Yazin the ring, man.
Yeah, man. Thank all of you guys. And yeah, that's it for us. Assalamu alaikum.
سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. Of course, the top it off. Allah عز وجل.
اللهم لك الحمد والشكر. لك الحمد حتى ترضى ولك الحمد إذا رضيت ولك الحمد بعد الرضا.
السلام.